All right. Hello, welcome everybody from YouTube. I meant to do this video earlier, but because I forgot, we're going to go ahead and do this while I'm driving. So, this is part one of who do you think you are? Are you owner operator, company driver, lease purchase driver, etc., etc.? This is hopefully to where you can find out maybe what you want to actually do with your career in the truck driving industry. All right, so first off, we're going to go and talk about being a company driver. Okay? So obviously, it's easy money. Anybody can be a company driver for the most part. If you love to drive, that's the number one thing. You got to love to drive. Okay? That's to do any of the owner op, lease purchase, any of that. You got to love to drive, or this industry is definitely not for you. So, easy money, as you start out, you're not going to be, making top dollar. So you have to earn your wages, we'll say. You get your bonuses, you get your raises and stuff like that. But it's easy money. And what I mean by easy money is you don't have to worry about the truck breaking down for financial reasons other than your own personal bills. But then most companies out there, if your truck's broken down, you get layover pay, breakdown pay, stuff like that, or they just put you in another truck. So that's a plus, because you're getting paid while the truck is physically down. Now, granted, layover pay, breakdown pay, like that might not be as much as what you're used to making on a regular daily basis as you're driving. But at least it's money. Okay. Two, another pro to it. You have benefits, regular medical benefits that you get a discount on because the company they have to pay their part of the benefit part of it, and I believe they pay half of it or something like that usually. Don't quote me on that price on that amount because I'm not exactly 100% sure on that, but I know you get a definite price break when you're working for a company and you're getting benefits through them versus trying to find an outside insurance agency like Humana or Blue Cross Blue Shield or whatever you use. Um, let's see here. I wrote down some notes. Let's see here. We got bonuses. Okay, so you're going to get bonuses while you're driving as a company driver. At least you should. I know the big carriers do it. I don't know about some of these, the little mom and pop type uh, companies that you may work for. Not saying that you work for an actual owner operator, but actual company that has 50, 60, a couple hundred trucks, something like that. Not made, and then like you got your major carriers, your mega carrier Swift and Snyder and Knight and England and Prime and all that kind of stuff. Where you're going to get bonuses as you drive. You're going to get a safety bonus. If you're driving safe, you don't hit anything. You get a bonus. A lot of companies, if you're getting good fuel mileage, you get a bonus. And usually, if you're on time or your productivity, something like that. I probably said that wrong. But if you're on time, you're communicating with your with your dispatcher, load planner, whoever you have to talk to about getting your loads. You have that now. Which of course, all those bonuses, hey, that's free money. It's even on top of your regular income. That's a bonus. Key factor is you have no worries though. Okay, that was my last thing that I wrote down, just to kind of refresh my memory and give me something to talk about. You have no worries. Basically, with that saying, you don't have to worry about the truck breaking down. You always have either a rental truck that they'll throw you in, a loaner truck, whatever. You have other opportunities to stay out on the road doing what you're doing, whether it be local or regional or OTR. You have options there without worry. Now, granted, there are some lease purchase programs that, they say, hey, if your truck's down, we'll give you a loaner truck, but then you got to pay for it, stuff like that. But we're not even getting into that part of it. This is just strictly for company drivers only. Okay? So you got no worries. Now, those were all basically the pros. The cons. Now, granted, this doesn't work for all companies. I know Knight has a no force dispatch. Other companies, I'm not too sure about. I can only tell you the ones that I've worked for. But there's a lot of companies out there that basically, as a company driver, you have to go where they tell you to go. If it's to Southern California, if it's to New York City, if it's to Portland, Oregon, down to Florida, Miami, whatever. They get you a load, you got to go. Now, there's a lot of people that say, oh, well, why? Why bother with even trying to worry about that? Because you're still making money. You're still out there running. You're making the miles. You're making the pay, and all that, which is true. But then there's certain points where some people might not like to drive up in the Northeast. Some people don't like to drive in California. Some people don't like to drive in Florida, etc. So to each their own on that. But with being a company driver, I'd probably say maybe 75% of the time you're going to have to take a load that you may not want to take just because you work for a company that you can't turn down a load. Now, if you work for a company that you're able to pass on loads, or that ask you, hey, what areas of the country don't you like to work? That's obviously a plus, because then you might not have to worry about going there unless you're the only driver in that area and they already have that load booked up and ready to go, and they need you to do that favor for them. Then you might still be stuck on going there. Which I've been in that situation as an owner operator. I've been in that situation as a company driver. It's as a company driver, you can scratch their back and they can scratch your back and they can go back and forth, and that's even for lease purchase and owner operators as well. So basically, with this video being said, it's a little windy out here. We're over here in Illinois, headed down to Nashville, Tennessee. I'm headed home for the night. After just taking a week off, but hey, the load doesn't deliver until tomorrow afternoon, so I figured, why go down there and sit at a truck stop when I can sit at home and be just fine. But as a company driver standpoint, that's your pluses and your pros and your cons, or your pluses and your minuses, whatever you may think. There are some other negatives. You might not get to drive the truck you want. You might have to swap trucks on a regular basis to acquire other people to, have a chance in that truck that you're driving, whether it be an automatic or a manual. There's some other pros and cons to it. But just in general, going over pay-wise to make money, not necessarily does it ever say that you have to be out here running, 362 days a year, never going home and all this, to find a company that's going to suit you to make you the money that you want. You can make good money and be home every weekend. You can make good money and be home every night. You can be home. You can make good money and be gone, a month, 2 months, 3 months at a time. It all depends on whatever company that you're hooked up with. And it also depends on your own personal well-being, whether you have family at home. If you don't have family, if you like going home, you don't like going home. If there's anybody at home for you to go home to, there's all kinds of different scenarios there. And that's why I said this video selection is hopefully to help you find out who you want to be. Who are you in this trucking industry? My father, he was a company driver all 38 years of his life. Or 38 years of his life, sorry. 38 years in the industry. He had his opportunities to go owner-operator and all that, but he decided not to. He was happy doing company driver. He didn't want the headaches and the extra, added stress of trying to be an owner-operator. Now, granted, since then, industry has changed. Makes it a little easier, makes it a little worse, depending on how you look at it. But all in all, hopefully, if you're planning on being a company driver, hopefully to start out, you should start out as a company driver. Some people don't. Some people try to go out and just buy a truck right out the bat. But, at least that's another plus, too, about being a company driver. It gets you a feel for this industry. It'll let you know if you can handle it or not. Are you going to like being gone? Are you going to, like driving as much as you have to drive for this job? So with that being said, here coming up in a few days, we will issue part 2, which will be speaking about lease purchase operators. That video will probably be a little bit longer than this one, just because there's a lot more in detail that I can go with that, because that's what I'm currently doing. So with that being said, all you professional drivers out there, company drivers, owner operators, lease purchase drivers, be safe, make it home to your families, and have a good day. All you four-wheelers that's interested in looking at driving truck, stay safe, don't text and drive. Same thing goes with you big truck drivers, don't text and drive. We will catch you on the next video here in a couple days. Have fun, be safe, and make that money.